Bet, pass, or double up on 3 options. And I'm going to give you 2 quarterbacks and a receiver to begin this one. Start off with that Friday night in Brazil. Packers, Eagles, Jordan Love, heard of him, to throw the most passing touchdowns this year in the NFL. So you can bet that. You can pass that and double up. At 17-1, that's the number.
Mm-hmm.
The second option is Jaden Daniels to win the offensive Roy at plus 475. Caleb Williams, by the way, is the favorite. Or how about the Cheetah? Run wild over the NFL. Bet, pass, double up the Cheetah over 1375 on hook. Regular season receiving yards rather. And again, the number there associated is minus $1.22. Wes Reynolds, which one do you bet, pass, or double up?
Bet is going to be at the bottom there with the Cheetah over 1375 receiving yards in the regular season. Look, he was pretty confident when Kay Adams was doing her program, going to different training camps across the NFL and down in Miami. And she asked about Noah Lyles. By the way, Tyreek Hill was a very good high school sprinter.
Yeah.
At one point, he goes, "I would beat Noah Lyles." And I was like, hold the phone here. Now, he wouldn't get totally dusted, but
it's rarefied air.
But he'd get beat by Noah Lyles. But he'll beat about anybody in a sprint, probably in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
So look, I think that offense, assuming Tua stays healthy, it is a timing offense that Mike McDaniel has down there in Miami. They seem healthy with A-Chain back at running back. So Miami, I think, is going to be very good offensively, and McDaniel's a creative mind. So I would say bet the over on the Cheetah on the receiving yards.
I'm right there with you. I think it's a really good bet, too. Again, 17-game season. He has had some injury concerns, but that's the only thing that holds the Cheetah back is if he gets dinged up. Because if he doesn't, and he plays 17, he's going to cruise, I believe, over that total of 1375, which almost makes me want to double up, but I'm not going to do that yet. So now you have 2 more options here in Category 1. Now you've got to pass on a bet, and you've got to double up a bet, so one answer is going to lead us to the other. Let me start in the middle. Jaden Daniels to win Offensive Roy, Rookie of the Year, plus 475. Are you going to pass, or are you going to double up on that wager?
I am going to pass on the Jordan Love, actually.
Oh, passing on Jordan Love.
Yes. Sorry, I got out of order there. But, I'm going to pass on the Jordan Love. And look, I think he's obviously going to have a very good season. I think he's improved, and I think he's got a ton of weapons there. But Green Bay can still run the ball, too. And they did add Josh Jacobs, who I think is a little bit of an upgrade over Aaron Jones there. Still have Dylan as the number 2 back. So I am going to pass on the Jordan Love. I just think, look, you got Tua there. You've got Mahomes is the obvious one, but they're gonna if they get up in games and
to me it's
they run the ball.
Jared Goff might be a guy.
Jared Goff, I think, is somebody you want to look at, and then you also want to look at guys for some of these things where they're going to be a little bit behind.
Yes, Green Bay's going to be ahead in a lot of
games. They certainly are. So Jordan Love, not for me necessarily for that one. So my double up will be on Jaden Daniels to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And look, Williams is obviously shorter than he is, and Williams certainly has a lot of weapons in Chicago. But if you look at what they have offensively, now it is Cliff Kingsbury, of course, who is the offensive coordinator. And look, I think what John Jansen was talking with us earlier about, Cliff Kingsbury, had a little bit of immaturity at one point as an offensive play caller when he was talking about Arizona with Kyler Murray out there. But I think that this offense, if you look at the Commanders, the fact they were willing to trade Jahan Dotson makes me think that they're confident in what they have. Of course, they have Terry McLaurin back. De'Ami Brown, Zacchaeus, who is a former Philadelphia Eagle. They drafted Luke McCaffrey, Christian's brother, out of Rice. He's going to be like the slot guy. Yep. You have Jamison Crowder. You still have Zach Ertz at tight end. The running game should be very good with Brian Robinson and now Austin Eckler coming in as a backup. And they've got some depth there at the running back position. Is the offensive line going to be better now with Tyler Biadasz coming in and Nick Allegretti? They've had musical chairs there. So I think this offense is going to be pretty good. And the one thing about the Commanders, they will be down in games. And they will be throwing and be aggressive to throw. And plus, Daniels, I think, is a dynamic runner. I think he's a better pure runner than Caleb Williams is. Caleb Williams has escapability, but I would say double up on the Jaden Daniels offensive Roy at plus 475.
I think it's a good bet. I'd double up on it as well. I'm going to follow Wes on all 3 of those options. And I'll just say this about DC. with Jaden Daniels too, because I'm with you. They're going to be behind in a lot of areas, and barring injury, that kid's going to play. And I almost feel like with Caleb Williams, we're getting a little bit cush-lash like we had in Jerry Maguire. Look, it's Cush on the big screen. We're seeing him everywhere. He's already oversaturated. He's all over, Hard Knocks. It's like, Caleb Williams, heard everything about him from the painted nails to crying at SC. It's like, enough with Caleb. I think Jaden Daniels could be kind of that sleeper, and all of a sudden you look up and they have about the same record as the Bears at the end of the year. I think Jaden Daniels at that price point is a really good one at plus 475. Let's hit that music. Bet, pass, or double up. Here are your options. Malik Neighbors to lead all rookies for receivers with regular season reception yards. You get that number at plus 330. How about Harbs? We're going to talk more about Harbs in the next segment as well. To win Coach of the Year at 8-1. Ooh, Dolphins to win the AFC at plus 205. Wes Reynolds, do you have a bet, a pass, and a double up bet that you like?
Yeah, hopefully we can win this one to send you to fabulous Tahiti. This is actually a very hard one. I think I'm going to pass on the Harbaugh.
Ooh. At 8-1.
And this is a voted on award. And look, now some things are coming out about the Michigan program. Not that writers would ever hold a grudge against anybody.
But let that influence their decisions.
But I just think that that's too short, and that's kind of a too obvious one. There's other good candidates down there. Look, John Jansen high on Arizona. Would like Jonathan Gannon. I like Dave Canales at Carolina. I think that team is going to be improved. I think you got to look Mike McDonald out there in Seattle, of course, from the Baltimore staff.
And if the Pittsburgh is good, they've never given it to Tomlin. You know that's going to be a sentimental choice this year.
Right, especially one that's not predicted to be any good this year, Pittsburgh. So I'm going to pass on the Coach of the Year, and then this gets a little hard because I will bet the Dolphins, even though I think that is a 3-horse race with Buffalo and the Jets. I picked the Jets in the betting guide because I think they have the best defense of the three. I don't think Aaron's going to put up like huge numbers. I think he's got a running game he's going to rely on with Breece Hall and a rebuilt solid offensive line. But any one of those three, because I don't want to discount Buffalo. I feel like everybody's discounting them. Like last summer, it was the Destiny's Child, Bills. That's what we were getting at the market, and then they started out sluggishly, kind of finished well, and then couldn't beat Kansas City like they never can do in the playoffs. So I'm going to do my double up, despite the fact that I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the favorite, and I think he's going to have a huge year. I'll say Malik Neighbors, even though Daniel Jones.
That's the hang-up, right?
Yeah, because I don't think I think Brian Dable's kind of done with Daniel Jones. It seemed like it in the preseason, but that's who you have. Do you go with Drew Lock, or who are you going to go with here? But I'll say Neighbors. I don't think he's that far behind Harrison. I think Harrison, though, the rightful favorite, Maserati Marv.
I think you actually nailed it in the correct order as well. So we're going to pass on the Harbs at 8-1 because there's too many better options at better prices. Miami, because it does feel like a clear 3-headed monster here, so that value at plus 205 may be a bet, so we don't have a problem with that. Here's the thing about Malik Neighbors. He's a flat-out stud, and they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, so he's going to get that target share you're looking for.
I'm trying to think when the last, a receiver that the Giants had.
It's got to be Odell Beckham Jr.?
I was going to say OBJ. I mean, because
when he came at LSU, right? That's it.
And they used to have really good receivers when they had Amani Toomer, when they had Plaxico Burress and those guys, and of course OBJ recently. But yeah, they've had good number 3s and number 4s, but they hadn't had a true number 1. I think Neighbors at least is that. Now, can Daniel Jones not turn the ball over and get the ball to him? That begs the question.
LSU receivers to New York. Here we go again. But it looks like Malik Neighbors. This is the guy that's going to be for Big Blue this year if they're going to have any sort of year.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.